Well, good afternoon. Some news just in indicates that the Vice President has been speaking about migrating public institutions from the national grid, that's ECG's provision, to just doing solar. Ebenezer Sabute is at the conference center right now, and he will be bringing us up to speed on the issues. Ebenezer, can you take over? Tell us exactly what the Vice President has been saying.
According to the Vice President, all state institutions will be moving from the national grid to solar power. This is as a result of what government has identified as a huge debt that has been on the state. That is, when the state institutions, all of them, are on the national grid, it gives the Electricity Company of Ghana some debt which they have to pay, and at the end of the day, government finds it difficult to pay. So when the state institutions are being moved onto the solar power, they are not going to be having such a challenge. So this is just like the removal of debt burden on the ECG. The Vice President did mention that at the Flagstaff House and the Parliament House, there has been some feasibility studies which is hoping to finish by the end of the year, and then subsequently the initiative will be rolled out in other municipal district assemblies and also state institutions.
Lisa, so which institution currently is being migrated? Earlier you were telling me Parliament will be one of the first institutions. Tell us about that also.
What's your question again?
Yes, my question is, you indicated that some state institutions will be used as pilot, and Parliament was one of them. What other institutions are likely to be migrated? He will be bringing us indeed details of that story at 1 p.m. in the marketplace. But let's still do some energy stories, and the cylinder recirculation model should take off by the first quarter of 2019. The MPA had earlier announced that the rollout of the new distribution policy will kick off before the end of this year. But in an exclusive interview with the business director for inspection and monitoring at the MPA, Esther Anku noted that final licenses will be granted to one company out of the 4 companies that have expressed interest in establishing bottling plants across the country.
We had 18 companies expressing interest to establish bottling plants. When we came up with the requirements that a company must meet to be considered for the license to be a bottling plant operator, we gave it out to all 18 of them. Now, some of the requirements are getting your building permit, environmental permit, fire permit, business plan, a 5-year business plan, and so on. So, of the 18 companies, 4 companies have been able to acquire these documents and have submitted them to us, which are being reviewed. So once the review is done, we have a licensing committee which has been established, which was established not too long ago by the board, to review all these applications further before the final approval is granted by the board. So that's what I'm expecting to take about a month or so for us to come out with the first license. And once the first bottling plant is up, then it means we are ready to roll out, because the bottling plant must be available to receive empty cylinders and also fill these cylinders for circulation to consumers nationwide. So if the bottling plant is not available, then we cannot also start. So what's going to happen is that we are going to have the 2 models run side by side for a while until we fully roll over to the new model, where consumers will no longer own cylinders. End of this year could be very tight. I would maybe project the end of the first quarter next year, but could be earlier. Yeah, it could be earlier, because once they have the license, they would also have to satisfy the construction requirements, and then of course it takes quite a while to get the facility up.
Also, that's it for business. But before I go quickly, Virgin Atlantic will be flying you straight into space in a matter of weeks. That's from Richard Branson, and that will be happening soon on Business Live. Sandra will be bringing you details of that story. But Emmanuel Abuajiafe is standing by at 1 p.m. for the marketplace. My name is Odilia Ntiamwa.